Hi everyone, welcome back to Treasure Quest Mining's weekly treasure hunt series. Treasure Quest Mining is an indoor gem mining experience and pretty amazing rock, fossil, and home decor gift shop located in Apex, North Carolina. Each week for our treasure hunt series, we walk around the store, select 10 treasures, tag them with a blue dot, and then that treasure is on sale, 20% off, for the week. But the sale only applies to that specific item, so you want to go ahead and hurry up and claim your treasure. Sale periods run from Friday to Friday, so this week's sale is Friday, June 27th through Friday, July 4th. And yes, we are open on the 4th, 10 to 5. If you're local to the Apex area, all you have to do is come into the shop and shop the shelves. That is, if your treasure's still here. If you're not local, or if you just don't want it to get scooped up by somebody else, all you have to do is reach out to us. You can phone us or email us. We can send you an invoice and we can ship that treasure right out to you. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I always love starting our treasure hunts right at the front of the store. That way, when you're coming in, you can find your treasures in sequential order. I think that might be a little bit telling about my personality type, but anyway, let's go ahead and pick treasure number 1. Oh, I think we should pick a sun catcher. So we have a new collection of sun catchers, and they're really cute and whimsical and colorful. And I like this one up here. So let's choose this one. It is a moon shape, and it has some nice detailing to it. It has little butterflies and suns and flowers and hearts. And it's really pretty in how it catches the light, and it'll cast rainbow prisms in your space. So this is a fun thing to start with for this week. So this sun catcher is $26, and that'll be treasure number 1 for this week's treasure hunt. Right there, right on the wall, should be easy to spot. You know, I think we should pick another piece of sphalerite. So we featured sphalerite in a previous week's treasure hunt, and it sold super quickly. So I think some folks didn't get an opportunity to take advantage of the discount. So let's choose another piece of sphalerite. It's a very interesting material. How about a sphere? I think I like this one right here in the middle. This sphere is $62. And it has a lot of really cool druzy pockets and big sections missing, which are nice and open so you can see inside the stone. It almost looks like, now we are a Star Wars family, so to me these spheres either remind me of the Death Star or the planets, so you can use your interpretation. But let's choose this sphere for treasure number 2, so a piece of sphalerite. Okay, I think we need to choose a treasure from one of these interior display cabinets now. We have over 150 types of gems and minerals, so it is a bit overwhelming sometimes to pick a piece to feature for you guys each week. But I think let's take a look at peridot. So peridot or peridot, whatever you'd like to say, potato. Peridot is the birthstone for the month of August, and that's right around the corner. So I think we should pick a piece of peridot. These pieces are from Arizona, and they're all $48. I like this big honkin' piece in the back. Yeah, that's a good one. So peridot grows in basalt. So this is volcanic rock, right? Pretty cool structure. And they're very small little crystals. Very flaky. They do kind of flake out. So you do have to use care when handling these pieces. But there we go. That's perfect. That'll be treasure number 3, a $48 piece of peridot. There we go. I've moved that piece to the front so it'll be easier for folks to find. Okay, let's turn back to this main wall to pick the next piece. And I really, really love the amethyst collection we have right now. So let's pick a piece of amethyst. We'll pick one of these smaller pieces. And let's choose a cut base piece from this shelf. So these pieces of amethyst are called cut base, which means it's been cut out of the basalt and has a flat base so that it sits perfectly. So we'll choose one of these. I really like the shape of this one. It's beautiful. Very deep cave-like shape, so you can enjoy a lot of surface area. There's a lot of amethyst to enjoy. This is perfect. This will be piece number 4, a $56 piece of amethyst from Uruguay. Okay, so it's a little tricky to get the blue dot to stick to the amethyst, so I put a stretchy tag on there. That's pretty easy to spot now. All right, we're gonna hang out on this wall and pick the next treasure. I do enjoy featuring the jewelry, and we like to speckle some of the jewelry pieces among the specimens, so let's pick an opal. Yeah, that'll be great. So we have Ethiopian opal in our collection, and they're very, very, very colorful. Opal is the birthstone for October. And let's look at this piece. This piece of opal is set in sterling silver, and it comes on an adjustable 16-inch to 18-inch sterling chain. That means it just has 2 holes that you can secure the clasp to, 2 O-rings. And this is a nice one. Look at the beautiful play of color, greens and reds. This pendant is $42, and this will be treasure number 5 in this week's treasure hunt. Ethiopian opal pendant. Okay, now let's go choose treasure number 6. And I definitely have in mind I'd like to choose a piece from this hallway. So we just finished a shopping trip to restock our coastal decor. And as you can see, we have pieces here that are made out of metal, some are made out of driftwood, and some are even some shell art, which is super cute. I think we'll pick one of the metal pieces. So one of my favorite pieces, I have a lot of favorites. One of my favorite pieces is this sandpiper sculpture. So that's 1 unit. It has 2 hooks for you to hang on the wall, and it features 5 sandpipers. And I really love this piece because it brings back very nice memories of the beach, of spending time at the beach. I think we all enjoy watching those little sandpipers run around, right? Well, the way that they make these, so these are made in Indonesia. And what they do is they take the window pane oyster, and which is commonly referred to as the capiz shell. They take the window pane oyster and they use very, very thin pieces of its shell, and they lay the thin shell pieces on top of this metal, kind of like a decoupage. And then they'll paint colors as well. And so the shell is what's giving the piece that iridescence. And that's been done for all of these metal pieces, including that super cool teal octopus. All the metal pieces have the capiz shell or window pane oyster shell. So yep, we'll pick this sandpiper piece, which is $68, as treasure number 6 for this week's treasure hunt. Okay, I put the dot right there on the bird so it'll be easier to spot. And now let's go find treasure number 7. You can see I went a little shell crazy and bought a lot of shells. But let's pick, oh, how about this? So let's pick a piece of rose amethyst or pink amethyst. So pink amethyst is interesting because it doesn't look like amethyst, right? It's very different colors, different structure. I'll show you what it looks like in a larger specimen. So this is a larger piece of rose amethyst or pink amethyst. It does form in a geode. This piece is cool because it rotates. But that's what a larger piece looks like. Okay, let's go back and pick one of the smaller pieces. These pieces are from Uruguay. Oh, Oh, and this one's very sparkly. Let's see if we can get the camera to do it some justice. Okay, it always takes a minute for the camera to refocus. But this is this beautiful piece. This is a $98 piece of rose amethyst. It has this beautiful pink and lilac purple color pattern to it. Very shimmery, very sparkly. Gorgeous material. So there we go. This will be treasure number 7. This beautiful piece of rose amethyst. Okay, the camera never does rose amethyst any justice. It's hard to get the pinks to show up properly, but there we go. There's treasure number 7. And we're gonna hang out right back here and pick treasure number 8. And I'm already eyeing this tourmaline, so I think we'll pick a piece of tourmaline. Okay, sometimes I like to take a minute off camera and pick a piece. So this is the one I've chosen for this week. This piece of tourmaline is from Brazil. It's $34. And what I love about it is it's not just tourmaline. I mean, check out all this other cool goodness in there. So we have some calcite and we have a lot of mica. And the micas are just very, very, very pretty. It adds a lot of color and character and beauty to this piece. So there we go. This will be treasure number 8, a $34 piece of tourmaline from Brazil. Okay, we focused on some fluorite previously, afghanite, orbicular jasper. We have a lot of calcite, so let's pick a piece of calcite. These blue pieces have been polished and shaped. They're from Madagascar, and all of these other pieces are from Mexico. So folks really like the green, so let's pick a green piece of calcite. Okay, I've picked this piece. I really like the big, huge columns of crystal formation on this piece. And I like the almost ombre shading of the green here, where it goes from dark to light and then back to dark again. So this is a cool piece of calcite. So this piece of calcite is $20. It's from Mexico. And people often ask me, are these coated in something, or what kind of polish is on them? And they're not coated. What they do is they take the calcite and they give it an acid bath. And what happens is the stone effervesces and changes its composition on the surface to this waxy finish. So the stone did that in response to the acid treatment. Left untreated, the calcite would be very cloudy and ashy, if you will. It's very grayed out and you wouldn't see this color. And so that acid bath treatment is super helpful so that you can appreciate the depth of color and it gives the stone a wet-like appearance. So there you go, mystery solved, right? Now you know why it's waxy. So perfect treasure number 9 for this week's treasure hunt, green calcite. Okay, I think that blue stands out pretty well on those green calcite pieces. Okay, now let's move to this side of the room and pick the last treasure for this week's treasure hunt. And I think I definitely want to focus on the seashell. So if you've been following us over the years, you've seen us grow and expand and add more showrooms and more display areas. And one of our expansions was to add a seashell collection. We certainly have an appreciation for all things marine life, and collecting seashells is a hobby for us and a hobby for many folks. And so we've purchased some really nice specimen pieces that folks can add to their collection. And I really like the conchs that we purchased. So these conchs are called a horned helmet conch, and they are from Vietnam. And this particular piece is a female, and I'll show you why it's a female. I gotta get it out of here, hold on. Okay, it took me a minute to get this piece out. It's hard to do things one-handed sometimes. So this is a beautiful female specimen of the horned helmet conch. The females have larger, more prominent spines there. The males are much, much, much shorter, and the male's shell is much lighter. The females are significantly heavier and denser shells, much bigger animals. A lot of folks love listening to the conch, right? And hearing the ocean waves in them, right? Like especially the kids, they love that. That's actually has to do with the shape of the chamber and it trapping, kind of resonating the sound in your room. But we'll just keep up the thought that that's the waves of the ocean. So there we go. Treasure number 10, a horned helmet conch. Okay, now let's retrace our steps. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's treasure hunt. We'll see you next week.